Welcome everybody, we're live, Snaggin live, Sean and Dustin with a special guest, Muskrat Adventures. Hey Roger, how you doing?
Well, I don't have a cool microphone, but hey, I'm
okay. I'm waving at everybody. Hello.
Hey, there it is. Sean's waving. You guys can't see him, but he's waving and driving.
I'm just waving and driving. 55 miles an hour.
Okay, that's enough of that.
So Dustin has still stolen the kids' toys.
Yeah, my son got a cool microphone for Christmas, and it changes your voice. And I thought it would be funny to come on the show and use that. So hope everybody enjoyed that. I thought it was pretty cute.
It is cute. We'll give it that.
So Roger, you were out in the water today, huh?
Yeah, we was out on the water today. It was kind of an unexpected trip, but that's kind of how we roll, man. We do a lot of spur of the moment type trips. Sometimes they're just local and sometimes they're out of state. But today I ran into some car trouble. I wasn't able to do what I wanted to get done. So Zach said, "Hey, I'm back in the boat down the water. If you want to hop on, let me know. I'll come pick you up." So away we went.
Nice. I saw you sent some pictures. Did you have a pretty good day, or was it an average day? Or
honestly, it was the bite was pretty slow today. We did catch a few decent fish. I think big fish today was 31 pounds, something like that. Which is, we fished on Tuesday and then we fished today. And we've caught 3 fish over 30 pounds in the last 2 days out. Now, the thing about the Ohio River, you hear a lot of folks talk about, the difference between the rivers. On the Ohio River, especially in our pools, 30-pound fish is really good fish. We don't have a lot of 50s, 60s. Skip caught 260s in the same year, and people couldn't believe they come out of our river. I mean, they just wow. It's like there aren't any 6. So a lot of our river, and we'll get to it here in a minute, but a lot of our river bordering West Virginia, and just last year, West Virginia state record got broken from 55 pounds to 63 pounds. Wow. So that is the state record is like 63 or 64 pounds. Wow. To give you an idea just what kind of class of fish we're dealing with down here. We're not looking at the big super monsters like a lot of other rivers have. Now, as you travel farther south on the Ohio River, and I got the map loaded up here, and we'll bust it out here in a minute. But northern Ohio actually doesn't have blue cats at all.
Oh wow,
none. Not until you get. I'll bring it up on the map, but there's a large section of basically anything that borders Pennsylvania. Hardly any blue cats at all. So,
oh,
wow. And now that's just due to migration. They just don't make it up that far. The southern part of the state that does have blue cats, the population has been hurt pretty bad with commercial fishing. So the boom of pay lakes in the last 20 years in Ohio Valley. It's not just Ohio; it's Kentucky, Indiana as well. But the boom of pay lakes in the last 20 years has really hammered our river pretty bad with the commercial fishing. So,
wow,
we make the best out of our situation, and we have we have fun. We're thankful for everything we can get out of here, and so. I see Sappy asked there if you fish near Portsmouth, buddy. I live right in Portsmouth. I am right now in Portsmouth. And the river is like 3 blocks, maybe 4 blocks from my house.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
So for everybody, we got 21 awesome people in here. Sean is driving home from Snacks basketball practice. If I could talk. So he probably ran into an area where there's no signal, but when he gets home, he'll pop back in. Excuse me. But in the meantime, we have Big Slim 91 in the house. Mike Sampson, how you doing? Brian Waldo says Central Cali checking in. Becca Mud Tramp, what's going on? Catfish Heroes. Hey Sean, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. hadn't seen Becca for a while. I saw her in the chat the other day. It was awesome to see her back in the chats. 217 Rebel Outdoors, thanks for coming in. Trinity Outdoors, thanks for stopping by. Shirley T, how you doing, Miss Shirley? Holana Catfishing Adventures says howdy, y'all. Thanks for coming by. Let's see, Nubby's Catfishing.
While you're reading some of those, bring my other screen up. I'll show you last 2 days of fishing. Here's the fish we have been able to pull out. And you can go ahead and say hello, but
all right,
I was going to show off.
Awesome. Hey, I like it. Let's see. Whisker Dreams says hello, y'all, great people. Thanks for coming in, Whisker Dreams.
I don't know what happened. Hang on. Look, this is a group chat me and Chad's in.
Hey, Sampy, how you doing? Catfish Hero says pay legs are commercial fish to thank for that. Yep. I saw a post on Facebook the other day about they were stocking a pay lake, and there was like a couple of 80s, a 90, 103 pounder that they had just laying on a tarp. I'm like, that's just disgusting.
Yeah.
It just sickens me.
Yeah, it's rough. That there was 33, I think, today.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah.
And I mean, if 33 or 40 pounds is a big fish for you, that's a big fish no matter when you catch it on your waters, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's those are considered trophy size fish for us here.
Right.
I know a lot of the country that's 30 pounds ain't a big deal, but we often say a trophy is relative to the waters you fish.
Absolutely.
I've never seen a fish over 60 pounds. Well, actually, I've never caught a fish over 60 pounds. I've seen 2 fish over 60 pounds in our area. And now if you go farther south, you do get into some bigger fish, 70s. You get clear down where Mike Greenwell fishes. Now he's actually about 3.5 hours south of us, but he's still technically the Ohio River. They got into some bigger fish, and those fish are migrating up from the Mississippi, from the confluence. So, these aren't real native fish that these guys are catching down that far.
Right. We got Jeff Biel in the house. How you doing, Jeff? Thank you, Miss Becca. Becca, reminding everybody, hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate that. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Whoop. Oh, you closed it. Stop sharing.
Oh, yeah. I forget that I'm not.
You're the guest tonight.
Yeah, that's hard for me.
We were talking about transitioning there a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Richie Mosteller, welcome in. Thanks for coming. That's a new name for me. Fish on Ed Evans. How you doing, Ed? Thanks for coming in.
What's up, Ed? There's Dale Hayslip. What's up, Dale? Becca says no cracks about me having a big mouth already. Yeah, she kind of put her foot in her mouth there. Holy Moby, big mouth. No, that was a wide mouth. I want one of those.
I love chat.
Hey, so you know what? If it weren't for chat, we wouldn't even have it. We'd just be 2 guys sitting there talking to each other. It'd be a phone conversation.
I know. Basically. Exactly. So she wants to know real quick, how deep of water were you fishing in today?
Honestly, pretty much most of the fish that we've been catching have been coming off the ledges. The fish are starting to move to and fro. Our water temperature is just hit 45 degrees.
Wow. So
we're still pretty cold. But the fish are starting to move up towards the dam. And so basically the way I do it is we set up shallow of the ledge, the channel ledge, and then I throw baits out towards the ledge and let them swing back. So I throw one short and it swings back, and then I throw one longer and it swings back here, and I throw one really long and it swings back here. So I've got baits stacked all the way down the ledge.
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much how I'm picking my fish up right now. Today we were around 20, 25 feet deep. But the pool we're in really doesn't have a whole lot of deep water. Muskrat, my big fish come 20 to 40 feet deep. Yes, sir. I know he was asking about this area, Stampede. Are you familiar with Portsmouth and Southern Ohio? Or are you
Uncle
talking
Jeep,
about on your home waters?
what's going on, Jeep?
Uncle Jeep, what's up, buddy?
So, Butterflies and Sunshine. Gotta love Butterflies and Sunshine. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate that. She wonderful donor to the channel. Helped me get the 2 never lost anchors that I now have on my boat. So thank you very much for that.
It makes a big difference, man. The super chats and the channel memberships. I gotta be honest with you, when the check rolls in, sometimes it rolls in. you gotta hit the threshold. It's like, hey, you gotta make $100 so we can take ours.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, it helps out, start paying the fees, and everyone knows if you get out there and do it, you got to put gas in the vehicles and buy camera gear and all that stuff. So
yeah. It says no, my home water. I go to DTWC in Portsmouth, Ohio.
Go to DTWC. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure if I. Sappy, I'm right here in Portsmouth, Ohio. If you get up this way and you want to go out and get on the water, let me know. I never buy the damn bait. I catch my own damn bait. So I can get out there and catch my damn fish.
I hear Kitty's in the house. How you doing? Thanks for coming in. It says slow night, 40s and rain here in Southwest Missouri.
Yeah, we got rain moving in right now.
Whoa, Miss Becca.
Oh.
Is that what this button does? Keep up the great work on the channel, Mr. Dustin. Well, thank you, Miss Becca. We really appreciate that. You didn't have to do that, but thank you so much.
She is awesome, man.
She most definitely is. Oh, man.
Well,
thank you.
The super chats and stuff that she does is always a blessing, but the work that she puts in on a lot of these channels, I know, like last night on our channel, or Tuesday night, it was confusing. We was streaming live on my channel, Creole's channel, and Fishing Magician's channel, and trying to keep those chats going. I don't like the way that's going right now. I don't know how that'll work out in the long run. We actually are talking to StreamYard already about it and trying to get that resolved to where it'll compile in one. I don't know if it will or won't. We're just still crying about it.
Hey, we start that conversation somewhere, right?
Yeah. So, but anyway, she was doing a great job. Just informing everybody, keeping everybody going. I seen a question. Jeff says, is Roger hosting the final in April? Which final are we talking about?
Oh, the April 16th, the Battle of the Rivers final. I think that's going to be on Brian B's channel, right?
Yeah, nobody asked me to.
Yeah.
It would make sense to be on Brian B. I mean, this whole thing was, Brian B put this whole thing together. I know him and Creole were kind of brainstormed it out and thought it up, but it makes sense to host it on his channel. He put the work in.
Absolutely. So, Sean, like I said, Sean's on his way home, but we'll go ahead and get the party started with the Ohio River knowledge that is in your head.
It should only take a minute or two, so I don't know what you're going to do the rest of the show.
We'll talk to chat. But I did do a little research, like I like to do before all of our shows, so that I don't get caught flat-footed. But the first thing that I want to bring up, and I did the same thing with the Cooper River. I think the Cooper River, I think I have my notes here. I think the Cooper River is like 58 miles long.
That's very short.
58 miles long. In comparison, from what I found, the Ohio River is 981 miles long. And It either flows through or borders 6 different states.
That's correct.
Do you know all those states?
Well, you going to bring me up here and make me look like a fool or what?
I'm just asking a question.
Let's see. Let me see if I can get through them all. So start at the top would be Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana. I even have a map in front of me.
Does it border Virginia?
No, I think it's just Virginia. I think it's Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana.
There's one more you haven't said yet.
Illinois, I believe.
Yep, that's it.
Is that Illinois?
It is. Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia are the 6 states that the Ohio River either runs through or borders.
Yeah, I always forget about Illinois because, it's really far down there.
Right. See, hey, what's going on, Paul Boyd? What about Null River in West Virginia?
That's the Kanawha River in West Virginia. I'll touch on that just a little bit. We'll bring up the maps here. But the Kanawha River is a river that runs out of West Virginia and dumps into the Ohio. It's actually a very, very good river to fish. Chris Souders made that river pretty popular with a lot of his videos and content he posted back in the day.
Nice.
But it's still it's a great fishery. I don't know what it is about the Kanawha River. You can catch flatheads in the Kanawha River all year long. Now, obviously, it slows down through the wintertime, but you could still catch flatheads. It's like they just don't stop.
Right.
A lot of flatheads in there.
Huh. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about some of the rivers that dump into, or the waterways that dump into the Ohio. But let me bring this map up.
Sure.
And we'll talk about first off, the Ohio River actually starts in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yes, but when you get up here so far, like right here around Wheeling, West Virginia, I'm not sure where. I know Marietta, I believe, is the beginning of where the blue cats are, where you can start to catch blue cats. But basically from Marietta north, they are implementing and stocking blue cats all the way up through there on the Pennsylvania side. I know that. Oh shoot! I just lost his name. Daggone it. He had a video out, and we're trying to get him on the show. He's had some health issues, but they've done some videos and work with the biologist up there. They have been stocking blue cats into that area, trying to get them established. But naturally, the blue cats really don't go much higher north. The farther you go north, the less and less blue cats that you run into. So the areas I generally fish, starting up here at the very top, is Ravenswood, West Virginia. And that's about as far north as I go. And Ravenwood, this area here is really good. I enjoy this. And if anybody's actually paying attention to this area, this right here, this island is like worth the drive. This is like 2.5 hour drive for me, but this island is worth it. Inside of here is nothing but trees and just giant trash everywhere. You basically play hopscotch. You start at the top of this and jump from one brush pile to the next, all the way down to the end of this island. And I've pulled, multiple giant flatheads out of there. My PB flathead's 55 pounds, and that's exactly where it came from, is this island.
Wow.
But
that's near West Virginia?
What's that, buddy?
You said that's near West Virginia?
Yeah, that's right here in Ravenswood, West Virginia.
Okay.
If you look at this, you'll see all my little hearts on here. These are all the boat ramps I use. Now, as I get up this way, there's less and less, but this one here is also another one called Racine. It's a Laken dam. That's also really good. It's really good for skipjack and, catching bait fish. But see, these areas here, this is also Pomeroy you hear about a lot. I fished these areas a lot there for about a year. I was making myself go to a new area every year and learn. So one year I pretty much just fished from this boat ramp to this boat ramp and learned this whole stretch. That's it. And then I went down and fished from here down to here. And then I did the same thing from here to here. Now here's Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and this is the Kanawha River dumping into the Ohio River.
Okay.
So you can kind of see. Here's the actual spelling of the Kanawha. It's a strange one, but and that's a very long river as well. But right here at the confluence where it dumps in is always really good for me. But my favorite spot is right here. You see these pools. This is a AEP power plant, and there's warm water that dumps in. Let me see if I can get it pulled up for you, Purdy. There's a warm water discharge right here. Right there.
Okay. Yep.
You see the water right here? That's water pouring in. I take my boat all the way in right here. And you're allowed. I think.
You're going to assume.
This area right here, right now, will be one of the first areas you can catch skipjack out of is this warm water discharge. So the shad and the shiners will start moving up here to find this warmer water. And you can catch skipjack up against this wall all along this bank right here as well. And the catfish really kind of stack up all down this bank. Depending on the weather and whatnot. And then, there's a lot of old stuff that you could find, here as well. There's actually an old dam that used to run completely across here that they blew up. So Point Pleasant, area has got a lot to offer between, the Kanawha River dumping in right here. The Kanawha River dumping in right here. And then the warm water discharge is really good.
Yeah. We haven't been doing this long, maybe, year and a half, 2 years. And it seems that we hear about warm water discharges being really good bait spots no matter where you go.
At times they can hold a lot of fish. They're not always going to hold a lot of fish. It's not one of those things. It's like, it's just magic. If you got a warm water discharge, you automatically got bait.
Right. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. You guys know. You go to the hot ditch, right?
Yep.
Right. And but then there's like a huge stretch of water that I really don't fish. So like from Point Pleasant down here to this is actually RC Bird, Laken Dam, I believe. Yeah. The Gallipolis Laken Dam is RC Bird Dam. It's okay, but like honestly, from like that dam clear down here to my dam, which is right here and Greenup, Kentucky, you hear a lot of people say, where are you fishing at? I'm saying I'm fishing at Greenup Laken Dam. And that right here is where I'm at. We were there today.
Okay. So you've talked about dams a couple of times. How many? I mean, I don't know if you know how many dams are on the Ohio River, but how many dams are in the general area that you fish from your one boat ramp to the other?
One.
Oh, just one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, because like they're so far apart that you're not gonna fish from one and go to the other one.
Right. I'm just saying in general. So you had a heart up on further north up on the river, like up here. Yeah, some of those. You said those are all your boat ramps that you fish out of, right?
Yeah, this one here is a Laken Dam. So this one here is actually a drop pin. Honestly, this is one of my bait honey holes.
Gotcha.
You actually can park down here. These are people. You can stand right here on this wall and fish. Okay. Or you can stand down here. This is a lower level. You can stand down here and fish. Yeah, I like locks and dams. I know we talked a little bit before the show, but in my opinion, a lock and dam offers you two different rivers at the same time. So if I'm down here below the dam and I'm fishing and the current's just too much, there's nothing going on, and it's just flying by, and I decide, man, you know what? I need to get into some calmer water. I need to find some slower water. This just ain't cutting it. I could bring my boat over here and go right through this lock. All right. And I know to a lot of people it's intimidating, but trust me, it's really not after you do it a time or two. I got a video I'm working on to try to help people make it easy. But you could basically bring your boat through the lock and then come up here, and this water is nice and calm because it's all coming down and hitting this dam and slowing it all down. So everything behind it's getting slowed way down. So if you've got crazy fast water below and it's just too much, you can lock through, get on the upper side, and have a completely different river. It's going to be deeper, it's going to be slower, and a little bit calmer.
Right.
And vice versa, if you're up on the upside and there ain't enough current, and you're like, man, I need to get in some moving water, or hey, man, we probably should be bumping. You can do the exact opposite. You can bring your boat through, lock through, and then boom, be directly below the dam and be fishing dam situation or bumping or whatever you feel like doing there. So I feel like knowing how to do locks and dams and get through them comfortably gives you a much larger range on what your capabilities are on as far as locating and changing scenarios when something's not working.
Yeah, like we were talking about before the show, that's going to be I'm looking forward to watching that video when you put it out, because locks and dams is not something we deal with here on the James River. We don't have any. So
now the Corps of Engineers runs the locks and dams. So to the best of my knowledge, and I've been to several, they are all just about. I can pick a lock. Does that count? Yeah, you pick whichever lock you want, and we'll go fish it.
Sorry.
No, that's good. To my knowledge, the Corps of Engineers, basically they'll, all the blueprints, or not really blueprints, but the floor plan basically is about the same on all the locks and dams. The process at which you get through a lock is the same in almost every one. You pull up to a wall, there's a chain that hangs down or a rope that hangs down. It's a doorbell. You reach up and you ring the doorbell. You let them know, hey, I'm out here. I need in. They'll, depending on, it's like a bathtub. They either drop the water down to where you are if you're below the dam, or raise it up to where you are, and you come in, and then they drop it down and let you out. It's really cool experience. Honestly, I love going through locks. I feel like, I'll be damned, does that count? Yeah. Well, I don't know. That spelling of dam don't mean the same. So you might.
That's personal.
I don't know if that's the same or not. But basically, they open the doors. You go in. They've got these tie-offs inside the lock. Most of them are like pistons, big pistons, like bobbers. They go up and down when the water goes up and down. You have to tie to one of those because you don't want to tie to something stationary. You'll either sink your boat or you'll be left hanging up on the wall. And they do whichever water change they got to do to get you where you want to go. And they open the doors and let you out. And when you're ready to come back, you just do the same thing in reverse. Now this area here, this is our bread and butter. This is where I live, right? So actually, where's Portsmouth? I don't even like my house, but
I think he's lost, folks. Give him a second.
I was trying to find my own house.
Put your address in the search bar.
It's right there. It's in the blue. That's my house. That's where I live. So people want to know how far away I live from the river? Right there. There's the house. There's the river.
Hey, Missy. Missy Kennedy said, it's like going to see the wizard. You ring the doorbell. Don't knock.
You can knock if you want, but I don't think anybody's going to answer. Yeah, so this area here is basically where we spend most of our time is this stretch right down through here, through Portsmouth. This up here is New Boston and Wheelersburg over here. One of the big contributing factors is this right here is the Scioto River dumping in. Depending on the water situation, high water, low water, this is like really good. Two things: if the water is really high, this area here, you may be able to tell by the look of it, it's really, really shallow. Right. So this river here pushes out a bunch of sand. Actually, clear out here where my mouse is about 4 feet deep.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's insane. But when the water gets real high, bait piles up along this bank like you wouldn't believe. Crazy. And we sit right down here on this bank and sometimes we can hammer the fish out really easy. Or if the river's up and still rising, this side of the river will come to a stop. You can tell the difference in color, and the bait fish will move in here, and the big fish will move in here, getting out of the crazy fast current. And this whole area here can also load up and be great fishing.
Real quick, JJ Hill had a question. So how long to get through the lock? He's guessing about 20 minutes.
That's about average. It really all depends on like if the water's already down to the level you need to be at, it's really quick because you only have to do one thing: bring you in and fill it up. Or the opposite, if it's already full and you got to come in and you drop it. What takes the longest is if you pull up and they have to drop it all the way down to you, then bring you in, then fill it back up. So I'd say 20 minutes is a good average. I've gotten through quicker than that, 10 minutes, but I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes is really more average.
Is the infamous sandbar where all the fish hang out during happy hour?
I think that's where they keep all their money.
Oh, on the bank?
The bank. Yeah, I got that. I messed that joke all up, didn't I?
You certainly did, but I got you. Miss Becca said, I wouldn't want to live in a blue house. It might be feeling down and kind of sad.
Well, the way things have been going around here lately, it's been a blue house. I don't know if I could change it.
I hear that.
A lot of you guys hear us talk about the Shawnee Marina, and that's right here. This is where we get most of our bait at. This is our boat ramp here. This is probably 90% of the time I fish. This is where I'm putting in. I'm putting in right here at this marina. I'm catching my bait here. There's actually a small creek you can see that dumps in here. This picture was taken with some very low water, but these are some big houseboats and whatnot out here. This is probably my boat sitting right here. That's the Muskrat. I was probably out getting bait that day.
So do you catch your bait on rod and reel? Or do you cast net?
Cast net.
Okay.
Cast net. There's a big boat there. But honestly, the mouth of this is really good. I've seen a lot of guys, big tournaments and whatnot. They'll put their boats in here and they'll come out of here and they'll take off and be gone. And the tournament's won right here in front of the boat ramp.
Oh, that would frustrate the living mess out of me.
I've seen it happen more than once. Somebody get out there and have big motor problems. Their big motor wouldn't start or something happened, and they're on trolling motor only, and they have to pick an area apart and fish it really, tightly.
Right.
Kind of like we talk about kayak anglers. We talk about how kayak anglers just can't fire up the motor, just take off and leave. They got to really pick an area apart, and that happens sometimes there too. I don't know if you want me to keep going, but
oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you can see I got red dots all the way down through here.
I want as much knowledge on the Ohio River that you hold in your head.
Oh man, so really, the biggest thing about the Ohio River is one. If you guys noticed that I'm not on Navionics, right? I'm on Google Earth, and it's like, man, it would be a lot easier if you could show us some depth and some change. Here's the thing: there is no map. There's no map for the Ohio River. This is all we get right here. This is one of the reasons why the Ohio River is so hard to fish, is we have nothing. You have to go out and actually physically cover every square inch of this and make your own map in order to fish it. There's no map to go by. There's no head start. Navionics has a few pieces of information on there, and there's some like community updates out there on a couple platforms that will help you on a few spots. But in a nutshell, there's no mapping. You don't get any. You got to read the river. You got to understand and learn how water flows, and look at a map like this and then go there and map it and make the best out of it.
Like I said, I did some research beforehand, and one of the things that I came across was average water depth. And from what they said, the average water depth of the Ohio River is 24 feet.
Yep.
Now they did also find that there is, or the deepest section of the Ohio River is near Louisville.
Yes.
And according to Google, that can be up to 130 feet deep.
It can, yeah. Honestly, the very deepest area that we fish down through here is right here, this area called Vanceburg. So you kind of see some little hearts here. That's probably my little creek. Yeah. So that's Salt Lick Creek. There's actually a little boat ramp in the back of that. I can't believe we found it, but it's I had Chad meet me there one day, and he was sitting up here in the parking lot of the school or something. I can't remember where he was at, and he was like, "Where in the hell did you tell me to go?" I said, "There's a boat ramp down there." He said, "You're out of your mind," because he was up here in the parking lot, and yeah, this little road pulls around here and drops back down here. Can't tell this is a big hill, but it really is.
Okay.
But this here is probably about the deepest area of the river we got. And honestly, it's right here at Rock Run. So there's this big rock formation. It starts right here, but it actually comes all the way out here in the water. And directly behind it, all this back in here is around 50 feet deep.
That makes sense.
There's big pools of it down through here, but I mean, just right up against this bank is like 45 feet deep, right off the bank. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so this bar here comes way out and creates all kinds of crazy stuff. And this little stretch of water, it doesn't look like anything, right? On a map, you're like, okay, there's a bend. It comes around the outside. This doesn't look like it'd be super deep. This here looks like it should be deep.
Right.
And it's fairly deep, but this is mostly sand. Where all this water builds up speed and hits this corner, it's pretty much brushed everything out. There's no trees, stumps. There's hardly anything there. This is a huge mussel bed.
Oh, wow.
This is a big, long mussel bed right here because it's kept clean because all this current. This flow comes down, keeps all that cleaned out. And this is a big mussel bed. And a lot of our tournaments in the summertime, June, July, August area, we'll be suspend drifting with chicken. And this is where we're at. We're right here in this bend on this huge mussel bed, suspend drifting chicken. And I don't want to like chicken, but it works.
I'm telling you, that's one of the things that I remember Kevin saying, Palmetto Cat saying, probably a year and a half ago when I used to watch this channel. And, Dieter really started with the chicken in the North Carolina area. And then Kevin started using it. And one of the things that he put together and made sense to me was one of the reasons it's probably real popular because it looks a lot like mussels. Like the chicken has, when it comes out of the shell.
Well, there's a big similarity between the enzymes in the mussel meat and the protein content that's in the mussels compared to the chicken. So you wouldn't think that a catfish would know what that is, but it can. It knows that that's protein, or the makeup of the meat is in a it's recognizable as a plus. So this is a big area for us. There's it spreads out down through here. Let me see if I can find it. I think that's just another boat ramp up there. Oh yeah, Brush Creek, place they have a couple tournaments out of. But the crazy thing is like we don't have maps, so we can't figure this out. Like we have to go drive and put in the miles. And right here, I'm trying to get it close in case anybody's actually in here that fishes this area. If you guys haven't figured out by now, I'll send you my GPS waypoints if you want. I don't care. As long as you're not commercial fishing. So as you can see here that says Ohio and Kentucky, this whole area, all the way down through here, I mean, clear back to where I live is nothing but hoop nets and gill nets everywhere. Of them guys, commercial fishing, taking the fish out. Me and Skip have been set up on the bank fishing, and about 100 feet ahead of us, they came and dropped big hoop nets right in front of our boat.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rough. Now, I've never done it. I got to be honest. It's hard not to go just start cutting and pulling hoop nets up because knowing what they're doing to my river. But to be completely honest, what they're doing is not illegal.
Right. Which is sad.
It is sad. But if I did that, I'm actually the one who's doing something illegal.
Right.
And so it ain't the person doing it I need to be upset with. It's the state of Kentucky for allowing it. And there's a lot of heat. There's a lot of us that bitch and moan about trying to. Oh yeah, there's the other reason right there. JG Hill put it right there. The amino acids. That was probably the biggest, in my opinion. I think that's the biggest similarity between muscle meat and chicken is, yep, the amino acid profile. Yeah, Stan, you guys are on it. You don't need me here. You guys are on it. Yeah, I think I said enzymes, but enzymes. Yeah, scratch that. It was the amino acids that make up the chemical compound that these fish are able to pick up on. For some reason in this little stretch right here, there's a hole, just a 55-foot hole in the middle of the river that we can't figure out how it got there. We can't figure out why it doesn't fill in. We can't figure out it just makes no sense at all why there's this giant hole. Huh. It goes from 12 feet deep to 55 feet deep. And you can't find it on the map. If you zoom in right here, there's nothing on the bank. There's no point. There's no indentation. There's nothing that tells you, hey, there's a giant hole here.
Interesting.
We only find it because, we can read the river. We physically stop and watch water movement and see like, hey, something's going on over there.
Right.
We got to go, let's go check it out and see why the water's doing something funny. And then you have to go physically go check it out. So, I say this a lot to some of the other guys. There are some great fisheries in the country and in the community. We've got, the James River, the Potomac River, the Tennessee River, the Mississippi River. But when it comes to having to gut it out, I think Ohio cranks out some really good anglers. And I'm not putting myself in this category, but, you've got like Doc Lang and Chris Souders. Steve Douglas started on the Ohio River, right? He still fishes the Ohio River. Steve Douglas is an Ohio River angler. And there's a bunch of big tournament names that, Carl Morris Jr., Mark Blauvelt, there's Ohio cranks out a lot of really top-notch anglers, and you got to think our fish are not that good, are not that big. But if you can catch fish here and get consistent, then you're doing okay because fishing in the Ohio River is tough.
Two Stands Fishing said he's been doing a lot of reading about different amino acids, and catfish can detect some better than others.
He's moving right up into Tim Scott categories, the biology and the science of why fish do and do not do the things that they do. If you notice, a lot of my dots start to kind of thin out right here. We got Aberdeen, we got Ripley area here, and then we get down here to Chilo and then Foster. Oh, that's J-Dog's house. That's J Dog's house. And it's basically right there about J Dog's house, which I won't put his address up there, but right there we go. That's about as far as I go. And that's about where, J Dog and Chad start fishing, as they start fishing from that area and they would clear down into the Cincinnati area and beyond. I've never really fished beyond that. I think, with me and J Dog, we have gone up and fished somewhere up in here. I know we like downtown. That looks like the Licking River there, I bet. That says Chicken Island. Oh, it's Little Miami River. I'm not sure what Pickle Park is. We'd have to find. We have to get Freddie in here to find out where that's at.
And to your comment about two stands and his knowledge, you said, "Well, that was after talking to Tim."
No, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, that's the wise, I think we talked about this the other night on a show. I don't know if it was our show or not, but we talked about, spot poachers and people that just want to, just want to know where you're fishing at and never take the time to ask the wise, like for instance, Becca's not from around here and doesn't, fish this water. And, but the first thing she asked when I said that, we was catching fish, we was catching decent fish for this time of year in this area. And the first thing she asked was how deep, and was wanting to know, questions pertaining to how we were catching the fish or where we were catching the fish, not, like, well, what's your spot or, what area exactly. And those are the things that's going to make you a good angler is, if you go to a tournament and somebody does well, say, well, what was it today? What was different? Was it the depth? Was it the speed? Did you change strategy? Did you, what and how, not or why, and not so much, just give me your information because. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that. I mean, before I get to JG's comment, that goes for learning in general, right? I mean, somebody can give you all the answers to the test, but you can put them down on the paper, but that doesn't mean you learned anything.
Yep, exactly.
So that, I mean, that just, to me, if you want to be a good angler, if you want to go out and catch fish consistently, then you've got to understand why the fish are in a certain area and what area they might be in tomorrow or whatever the weather's doing.
So the very first thing I would tell somebody is try to understand your bait, all right? Because let's face it, the fish aren't going to be far from the food, all right? Just like me, you're not going to find me real far from a Wendy's, all right? I'm going to be pretty close to a Wendy's or a Golden Corral, but they're not going to be far from the food. And so when you start to understand what your bait's doing and why, it's easier to find the fish.
Right. And the second JG Hill here, he said, "Thanks for coming on here, Muskrat, and sharing your knowledge of the river. Very interesting and fun to watch. Great job, man."
I appreciate that, buddy. I love to share. I know that we didn't really get into a whole lot of technical stuff as far as like, the hows and whys. But like general movement of fish is in our areas, the wintertime, a lot of your fish are going to move downriver. They're going to settle in the deep holes. They're going to be close to deep water with shallow flats or feeder creeks because they want the security and comfort of the depth, but they want the accessibility of food up on shallow flats and feeder creeks when water goes up and down. This time of year, spring, water starts warming up. A lot of your spawning fish all start moving towards the dam. All right. So the dam is about as far as they can go. All right. And that's it. So your skipjack, well, this is why, everybody's like, oh, I catch skipjack at dams. Well, you catch them in spring at the dams because they're just up there in thick concentration. The rest of the year, they don't disappear. They're still there. But the catfish follow them heading, the bait all starts moving towards the dam and every other species of fish is right behind them. And the springtime, in my opinion, is like the best time to fish dams. Clear up into, the heat of the summer when things start really starting to get hot and they'll back off again. And, fish will start moving back, back into deeper pools looking for cooler water. But for this time of year, for me, you're going to find me at dams. It's going to be hard to get me off of them.
Well, damn. Yeah, that's similar to us. Like for us, the same thing happens, right? Like we don't have a dam, but we have the rapids. We have the fall. Well, we do have a dam, but it comes after the fall line. So we have one dam. It's called the Bossier Dam, that kind of separates the upper James from the lower James, and then between that, a little bit farther down from that, is the rapids, and then you get to where we fish, and the same thing happens. Like all the big fish they follow the shad and the white perch up the river during the spawn, and then during the wintertime a lot of them go back downriver, back towards the bigger waters and deeper waters. Real quick, Uncle Jeep said he had a question. How many hours must pass before you light the grill?
Just one.
At least 1 hour? Just
one. Yeah, we try to make it at least 1 hour. We try not to feel like complete total slobs, but sometimes 1 hour is too long.
And then to follow that up, Two Stan said, Roger, in your honor of being on the show tonight, we grilled better cheddars on the boat tonight.
My man.
JG Hill said, do the catfish follow barges? I don't know, just asking.
No. So they don't generally follow barges. The wake and the disturbance that the barges put off actually usually scatter and displace fish, which is where you come up with the term barge bite. So It's not that a barge being in the area causes fish to bite. It just doesn't. What happens is the turbulence that is, now this is generally for a barge going against the current, right? So that's causing a lot of force and velocity, and they're washing out, they're blowing it out. It's crazy. But what happens is they blow out this big area of water, and any fish that may have been there just kind of get blown out, and they just scatter and move. And the displacement of the fish, in my opinion anyway, is what actually causes fish to bite. They're up and they're moving where they were just kind of hunkered down and doing their thing and chilling. Now all of a sudden they got blown off their spots. They're all scattered, and they end up running into your bait and be like, hey, there's something to eat. And they grab it. And in my opinion, that's where your barge bite comes from. It's the barge actually kind of blows all the fish around off the bottom and gets them moving.
And your bait becomes a target of opportunity.
All right.
So Miss Becca said, what about the water from the spring rains filling in from the creeks and other areas? How did the catfish react to that?
They will capitalize on it. So on this screen right here, I've zoomed in on a small, I'm talking small creek. I don't know if you can really, you can barely turn your boat sideways in this creek. All right. That's how small it is. But in a rain, water will start coming out of this creek, and at first, it depends. The creek will blow out first, and catfish will line up and stagger all in this area down here, getting the bait that's getting blown out of here. All right. Because when the rain starts falling, the first thing it does is blow your creeks out. Right. And eventually the creeks start filling up the river, and then the river rises high and the creeks actually back up. So at first, when the creeks start flooding, your fish will actually move up here and just capitalize on it. They can sit here with their mouths open almost and just start picking off fish as they come flying out of that creek to a certain point. Once the river starts to rise and the floodwaters from all the other creeks and rivers starts dumping in, the river will actually go higher, and it will actually slow down this creek. And now all the fish will actually move in here to get out of the fast water. And believe it or not, your catfish will go right into this creek that's only 5 feet deep. And we've caught 50-pound fish out of this creek.
Wow.
And it's like a ditch. But when the rainwater starts, the creek blows out first. Fish will line up down here below it. They'll stack up all down through here and capitalize. you got to think that, catfish want to eat. They want to use the least amount of energy as possible and get the most amount of food, right? Yep. Because that's how they survive. If they had to chase down every single meal, they wouldn't last very long. So they've got to take easy meals when they can get them. And creeks flooding are easy meals. The bait's going to get pushed out of that creek, and it's, the fish can lay down here below and scoop them up. So this point right here is a fantastic place to be. There's times I beach my boat right up on this bank. I just slam my boat nose right up on this bank or tie up it depending on the water height and catch fish not only over here, but back in here. And of course I throw, I got my swing rod. It's going to be out in here somewhere doing its thing, but that's a great question.
She said, "Oh, wow, that's awesome to know since I'll be living a few miles from a river."
Yeah, I'd love to be able to dissect the area that you're going to go to and talk about it. Maybe one night up on the show. It's one of the things me and Jeremy have talked about, helping do for people during the show, or if we don't have anything scheduled or planned for a week, have people come on and say, "Hey, can you check this area out for me and see what you think?" It's something we enjoy doing. So maybe we'll do that for Becca one night.
That's awesome. So we talked about we're almost at the end of our hour, but
I know it goes me on here. It's like I'm bad at staying.
So we talked about how the Ohio River starts in Pennsylvania. It's, from what I understand, I don't know if I could pronounce the river. So it's formed by the confluence of the Allegheny and the Do you know how to pronounce that?
Up in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Where it's formed? No, I don't remember. No, I don't. No, I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew what it was called, because I don't.
Okay. Well, it looks like it's formed by the confluence of two big rivers up in the Pittsburgh area, and then it actually empties into the Mississippi.
Is it up here by Big Beaver or Beaver Falls? If there's.
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that question.
That right here is the Big Beaver River. All right, we'll move on.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to go over, it's formed up there in the Pittsburgh area, and then it actually ends in Cairo, Illinois, where it dumps into the Mississippi River.
Right.
So that's pretty cool how a lot of these rivers kind of tie in together.
Oh yeah, but, at a certain point, the Ohio River is a tributary for the Mississippi.
So the Mississippi has the Ohio River to thank, partially for what it is.
Right here, Rogersville. I was noticing when I was zoomed all the way out, I was like, I got all these hearts up here around Ohio. Then I look down here and I got all these hearts in Tennessee and Alabama. Chattanooga. Well,
you got one all the way up in the upper left out west too.
Yeah, this is Fishing for Freedom. This is Keokuk. This is where a lot of actually Tim Scott's videos are filmed at.
Oh, wow.
I fished the Keokuk plant, and actually a lot of his videos are filmed right here on this wall. And that's exactly where I went, was right here on this wall when I went up there and I took veterans out fishing.
Okay. Do this one last question. Don R had a question. You were talking about how the blues feed on those creeks. Is it the same for channel cats or
all of them? All of them. Flatheads and blues both will do the exact same thing. Channel cats are obviously they're more of a take whatever they can get type fish, but they're a live fish eater just as much as any other fish. As a matter of fact, one of the hearts you see up here is Sandusky Bay. And I'll tell you right now that if you want to have like one of the best fishing trips of your life, take live bluegill up there and fish for channel cat. There you go. Fishing favorite, $20. It's a fantastic show. Great info from a great guest. I don't know about all that, but I love being here.
Hey, Austin, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, he just finished up over on the bait shop. He had a good show.
That was a funny show.
It was a funny show, but I think he has more technical information. We might have to get him on a Tuesday night show when we can dig into the good stuff.
There you go.
That show over there is just BS.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. No, I love those guys. It's a good time watching them.
Yeah, I always have a good laugh watching those folks. So that's our hour. As we said earlier, Roger, thank you so much for coming on, talking about the Ohio River, the river that you fish. Sharing the knowledge that you have. That's like I said, that was our goal. That was our intended goal, was to try to get people a little bit more familiar with the rivers that a lot of us fish. And we wanted to start with the rivers that were in the river wars, the river battles.
Right.
So if anybody has a river, I think we have the Tennessee, the Mississippi, the Potomac, and the James left. I'm going to save the Potomac and the James for the last two shows in our river series. But if anybody has any specific, if they want us to do the Mississippi next, or they want us to do the Tennessee next, let us know. And we're going to do the same format. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate that. We're going to do the same format. We're going to bring a guest, maybe a guest or two up from the Tennessee and on the Mississippi on different nights. And we're going to have the same format. We're going to have them pull up the map. We're going to talk about the different parts of the rivers, some of the things that they have to deal with on those specific rivers. So please, let us know. Send us an email.
Yep.
There it is. Team Snaggin Whiskers. No G, no snagging. It's snaggin. Team Snaggin Whiskers at gmail.com. And let us know. Or if you have any input for the show at all. We want as much feedback as possible. If we're doing a good job, let us know if there's something you think we should change. Let us know that too. Like I said, we're here because you're here. Without you, we wouldn't have a show. And I love talking with all these different anglers and the different people that Fishing Fever says the Rio Grande next.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a little out of our scope at this point, Austin, but maybe we'll get to that. We'll bring you up to talk about it.
There you go. Now, I'd add to anybody that, if anybody's interested in anything on the Ohio River, I kind of pointed out the areas I know about and fish. And so I'd be more than happy to give away any information, or if somebody's planning on traveling up here and they got, something they want to inquire about or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find somebody who does. Because there's some good fishing up through here. And like Chris Souders, Chris Souders offers, guide trips up here. And he does this one called Catfish Academy, where he'll take you out on the boat, and like if you just have questions about electronics or about this, that, and the other, he will take you out and teach you whatever you want to know for the day. So
that's awesome.
Whatever I can help you with, I can. Whatever I can't help you with, I'll find somebody who can.
Yeah, Jimmy, hit Roger up if you have any questions. He says he bank fishes the Ohio River.
There you go. What area do you fish, Jimmy? So
I got you. How about, so folks, another thing too, while we're waiting on him to answer that, if you have any specific river, we can either extend this series. We don't have to stop at the 6 rivers that were in the river battles. Send us an email, because I can go back through the show and write down all this stuff, but send us an email at teamsnagginwhiskers@gmail.com. If you like this river series, and if you want us to do any rivers in your area, just know that we're probably going to contact you to ask you to come up on the show to talk about those rivers, because we're not going to be familiar with them as much as you will be. Or if you have any specific angler in your area that you think might be a good guest to come up and talk about your rivers, let us know, because I love doing these shows. I know I've learned a lot just in the last couple of shows watching and listening. to the people who fish these rivers, and it's to me it's interesting and it's fascinating. So yeah, send us emails and we will respond as soon as we can.
Yep.
And like I said, any questions, anything for if anybody has anything for Roger, and you want to just shoot us an email, I can get it to him. Or you can, if you have him, just let him know. But that's our hour.
Jimmy fishes the pool right above me. So where I normally stop there at that dam, that Green Up Pool Dam I showed you about, he fishes from that pool on up, which is actually one of the areas I fish the very least. But,
Gotcha.
But James, if you ever want to get together or something, hit me up. Roger DeMint Jr. on Facebook. And if not, you can email Team Snaggin Whiskers here at gmail.com, and Dustin will put you in contact with me. Or
absolutely.
If you need anything at all, just holler at me. I'll see what I can do to help you.
Well, Miss Becca, Austin, thank you again for the super chats. We really appreciate it. That will go a long way. From the bottom of our hearts, we really appreciate you doing that. And thank you everybody in chat for coming in and asking questions and interacting with us. That's, like I said, that's what this is all about. This show is about you, not us. So wow, you did it again. Look at you. But seriously, thank you. And Roger, thank you for coming up once again and sharing your knowledge and hopefully giving somebody some information that they didn't have about the Ohio River. Like I said, that's what this is all about.
More than happy. Thank you for asking me.
Absolutely. So on that, we're going to say good night. Oh, I think it'd be funny. See if it'll come on. We're going to say good night, but I'm going to do it in a different way because I don't think everybody was here when
they weren't.
And we're losing people left and right. They all heard me say goodbye. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you for coming in, and we'll see you next week.